Florida, and welcome to this week's YouTube Live. If you're new here, I go live every Monday at 11 a.m. My hair's a little crazy right now. If you're new here, please say hello. Let us know. Well, even if you're not, even if you're returning, please say hello and let us know where you're watching from. Oh, it's been a crazy morning. I just hopped on here. I tried to run out and do something real quick. And I should know better than that because that's never a good idea to try to run out and do something right before you've got to do another appointment, right? Oh, hi, Karen. Hi, Lori. Oh, yes, my craft show. I had my first craft show of the season this weekend. It was great. It was funny because I did all this prep work, like, oh, I'm going to make these fall items. It was at a church, so I tried to add some religious items, stuff for kids, have a little variety. And then we were setting up, and I'm usually never the only paper crafter there. There's always other paper crafters there. And so there's other ladies selling cards, and of course, everybody's prices are different. I probably had the most expensive cards there. So I thought, oh, I'm not going to sell a lot of cards. Cards were my biggest seller. It cracked me up. I was like, and I didn't stress about making cards. I honestly, I make cards throughout the year. And so I didn't make anything like at the last minute to get ready. As far as cards go, I was just like, I just make them through the year and then I keep them all in a bin and I either give them away or like to customers as a thank you for ordering, or I save them for my craft shows. So I did not do any like card prep or anything. I just used what I had on hand. And like I said, that was my biggest seller of the day. My second biggest seller, I actually had purchased some of the Stampin' Up craft kits. And I took them out of the box, so they were just in the plastic, and I put like a little price tag on them and put them in a bin. That was my second biggest seller. So none of the stuff that I was like running around and stressing about making at the last minute, I hardly sold any of that. Which is fine because I have a craft show next month, or not next month, in November. And it's a really big 3-day one. So I'm just going to take all that stuff with me to my next show. And it's right before Thanksgiving. So I figured people are probably going to be looking for last minute, like host gifts or gifts for kids or something that they're going to be visiting over the holidays. So I'll just take it with me to that show and see if I can sell it there. And if not, then I'll pack it up for next year if I can. Or if it's got candy, I'll just give it away at my own Thanksgiving. So either way, it works. But I just thought that was the funniest thing because even my mother-in-law was like, oh, are you busy making a bunch of cards? And I was like, no, I'm not making any cards. I'm not stressing about cards. But I like it that way because I usually make about 2 or 3 of the same design for either stamp camp or a card class that I do online or something like that. So I've got multiples of different designs, and I don't make a ton of them. Like I said, I make maybe 3 at the most. And then I've got a bunch of different occasions, usually birthday. I've got some anniversary, Christmas, stuff like that. So, and then I had a big rotating rack that I put everything in, and I think that kind of helped too. But everybody is looking for different things. And I thought, well, it's a church, so I'll try to do some religious stuff. But I don't know. I did the blind date with the book and the story time surprise. I sold a couple of those, not very many. So again, I'll bring them to my next show and see if I can get those offloaded there, but I'm probably not gonna make too many more. I don't know. I might make some Christmas ones. We'll see. But yeah, so that's how it went. Like I said, it was comical to me because I was like, oh, I need to make these little treat holders and this little treat holder, and none of those sold. And a big part of it could have been because we're in Florida. It's still pretty warm here. So I did hear a couple ladies say, oh, those are cute, but they would melt in the mail, like if they were going to mail them to somebody. So that could have been part of the reason too. So who knows? You just never know. But but I still loved it. I got to spend a lot of time chatting with people. I met some people that have followed me um, online, either through YouTube or my blog or whatever. I always end up getting seated next to another paper crafter, which is really cool because the lady that I sat next to at the craft show, she actually lives like right near me. So we got to chatting the whole time during the show, got to know each other, which was fun. And even though we were both paper crafters, we both had different stuff to offer. So that was really neat. So I don't know. I really enjoy it. I enjoy meeting all the people, seeing everybody come through. It was a little bit drizzly and rainy, but um, so it was still lots of fun. So luckily, though, it wasn't raining when we were setting up or tearing down because you have to take everything in and out. So that was really nice. But I will do a blog post later this week showing pictures of everything I sold and how much I sold them for. So if you do a craft show and you're curious and you want to see what I did, if I've made the project before, I will post like a link to that projects post so you can get the measurements and all that stuff too. Yes, Karen, thank you so much for reminding people to like and share the video. I appreciate that. So yeah, so I will share that and I'll share it too so you can see the different projects and maybe you want to get some ideas of stuff to make for your friends and family for Christmas. So either way, I like to share. So, all right, so that is the biggest thing that happened over the weekend. But like I said, I'll do a blog post later kind of detailing all that stuff. So today we are going to make something using these delicious, I was gonna say beautiful, they are beautiful too, but these delicious little treat holders here, or treats here. They're Ghirardelli, they're milk chocolate filled. There's a solid milk chocolate, a caramel filled one, and a caramel apple, which you might be like, I like the caramel apple ones though. I think they're pretty good. So, and like I said, I tried to run out and do something right before this, and so I didn't have a chance to dig one of the little treat holders out of my box to show you what it looks like finished before we start, but you'll see what it looks like when we're done. I was even printing stuff like right at the last minute before I came on here with you guys. I'm just like all frazzled right now, but that's all right. We'll get through this together. So, but like I said, I do have one more craft show this year. It will be November 14th through the 16th at the World Equestrian Center in Ocala, Florida. So if you are going to be in the area, please join us. And then let's go ahead and get all my stuff together. So I am going to flip the camera around. We're going to go over a couple of reminders and announcements. And then we will get started with today's project. All right, let me turn my lights on here. Like I said, I'm a little behind this morning, so bear with me, but we'll get through it. Hi, Carol. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Carol stopped by at my craft show. It's always fun, too, because I get to see, like, a lot of my friends come out and support me for the craft show, which is really cool to see, and it was just a lot of fun. All right, so first things first, starting on October 1st, Stampin' Up! Is going to be offering a new virtual class. They're going to start doing this monthly. So there's going to be a different like bundle or suite that they're going to focus on. So the first one that they're doing for October is the Traditions of Christmas suite. If you want to make the projects that they make, you can purchase those supplies to go with it. Now, the class, you do have to purchase, just like you're purchasing a bundle or a stamp set or anything. You purchase this online at stampinup.com. This is the item number. You will purchase the class for $30. That's how you get your access to the class. And then they will do a live class for this on October 23rd at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you can't watch it live, you will get access to watch the replay. So you'll be able to watch it as much as you want. Now, I will say this is on Facebook. So I think that's how they're doing it to begin with until they figure out exactly the right platform and everything. So you will only have access to it. I think Facebook videos, you only have access for 30 or 60 days now before they get deleted. So you will need to watch it before it gets deleted off of Facebook, but you'll get a link to the class and you'll be able to watch the replay as much as you want. So like I said, October 1st, I believe, is when you can start purchasing this, okay? All right, and then also on October 1st, you can become a demonstrator and join my team. This is the best deal I think I've ever seen since I've been a demonstrator. I've been a demonstrator for about 6 years now, and they're offering where you can purchase the kit for $99 and get $189 worth of products, or you can purchase the starter kit for only $35 and you can pick $125 worth of products. You get free shipping. You get some business supplies to get you started, which you can either use or throw in the trash, whatever you want to do. A lot of people don't do this as a business. They just want to do it to get the discount, which I totally get. So do what you need to do with those business supplies. It's up to you. And you'll also get a previous paper pumpkin kit. You won't know which one it is. They just kind of throw a previous one in your box with it, with everything. But if you've ever thought about becoming a demonstrator, you love Stampin' Up! Supplies, and you just want to kind of get a discount on some of your favorite stuff, this is a great way to do it. So I'd love to have you on my team. We do a lot of fun stuff. We do card swaps. We do virtual team meetings where you get to meet everybody. And this is a no obligation offer as well. So you could purchase the kit and decide, oh, I don't want to keep doing it. And then in a few months you drop and you decide you don't want to be a demonstrator anymore. You get to keep all of those products that you got at that big discount. So it's a really good deal, but most people, once they sign up, they stick around for a while. They try it and say, oh, it's so much fun. Okay. Hi, Diana from Illinois. Hi, Pat from Oklahoma. Hi, Sandy from Ohio. Welcome, welcome. So this is the whole month of October. So starting October 1st, you can take advantage of this deal if you're interested. And if you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer them. You can always reach out to me as well. All right. And right now you can get a new crafting advent calendar that Stampin' Up! Just recently released. It is a 12-day advent calendar. So it is $99 and this is the item number and it's while supplies last, but even though it's an advent calendar, the products inside it are not Christmas themed. They're like all occasion themed. So you might have paper one day, a stamp set one day, different little things. So you can kind of get an idea by looking at the picture and see what's included. So it's a really cool gift idea, either for yourself or for a friend. So if that's something you're interested in, that is available now. You can purchase. Like I said, that's the item number and that's the price in US dollars. If you can't find it, just type in advent calendar in the search bar and you can find it that way. But it's while supplies last. So get it now if you're interested in that. All right, this Saturday is World Card Making Day. Stampin' Up! Is hosting a free virtual event, which is super awesome. It'll last about an hour. It's on Saturday, October 4th at, I think it's 2 p.m. Mountain Time. So for about an hour on 2 p.m. Mountain Time. And then if you can't watch live, you will be able to watch the replay afterwards because we're all busy or we forget. So Stampin' Up! Recognizes this. So you will have the chance to watch it if you can't watch it live afterwards. I do recommend registering not only because they will send you a direct link to the video to watch it, but also everybody that registers will get a surprise gift after the event is over. Joan says she's all signed up for card making day. Good job, Joan. Hi from Arizona, Desert Rat from Arizona. Welcome. And if you'd like to craft along, I recommend purchasing the Handmade and Heartfelt kit. This is the kit that they will be using during the event. It's $32 for this kit, but you make 10 cards out of this kit. So, oops. What happened with this? This is all wonky. I guess I must have put it in there. Oh, this is what that one looks like. I gotta fix that. It got shifted somehow. But they're beautiful colors on here, and you get to make 2 of each of these designs. And it comes with coordinating envelopes. You get a little stamp set, which is available in German, French, or English. And it comes with a little block to stamp with and a Secret C Stampin' Spot. And then you also get the card case, to like the card organizer that you put together. That's all included in this. So if you'd like to purchase that, you can get that now at stampinup.com. And like I said, it's $32. It includes all of that great stuff. And if you order it now, you won't get it in time for the event, but that's totally fine. It's pretty easy to put together. I sat down and put it all together in about 30 to 40 minutes. So, and it has all of the instructions and a little ruler on the side to measure your trim. So it's a pretty good little kit. I like it. I love the little card organizer alone. As soon as I saw that, I was like, ooh, that's really cool. All right. And then I do offer Stamp Camp to go. I will be working on this over the next day or two. I'm a little behind with my craft show. But we make 4 cards. You make 2 of each design for a total of 8 cards. You can subscribe anytime. If you subscribe by October 1st, you'll get the next Stamp Camp to go at the discounted price. Or you can just purchase them as a one-time purchase whenever I announce them in my email list. So if you haven't signed up for my email list, I always recommend that. I send a lot of my events and classes to go and stuff directly through my email list. But if you purchase the Stamp Camp to Go monthly subscription, you save 10%. And after 6 consecutive months of being a subscriber, I send you a $25 Stamper Award as a thank you for being a subscriber. So don't forget to sign up for that if that's something you're interested in. And then just briefly, like I said, my next craft show is November 14th through the 16th at the World Equestrian Center. There is an entry fee for this craft show, but it's a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday. I believe that Friday they're doing like a VIP early shopping thing that you can purchase the ticket for as well. But all the information, if you just Google it, you'll be able to find all those details for that, okay? And then last but not least, I do have Stampin' Blends labels for sale on my blog. You can purchase these. It's a one-time purchase of $5. And then after you purchase them once, you will get any future labels that I create for free. I will email them directly to you. So all of the current colors are on here, including the natural tones, the current in colors, and the recently retired 23 to 25 in colors. So if that's something you're interested in, you can purchase those as well. All right, so now let's get into today's project. Like I said, I don't have the finished project to show you. It's in a box behind me somewhere. I've got all of my craft show boxes. I've packed everything up and put them back in there. So I don't have that readily available. I apologize. But we are going to make a fun treat holder. All right, guys, just bear with me. I apologize. I'm usually way more prepared than this, but so we're using this More Than Autumn set and the traditional labels die. Now, this little die here has been my favorite. I've been using this constantly. And then the paper I'm using is actually from this Spooky Sweet Designer Series paper. Now, I was just thinking yesterday, I haven't really done I love Halloween treat boxes and stuff, and I haven't really done a lot of those this year. I am hoping to do some more in the next couple weeks, but I would love to know, leave me a comment below. Do you miss my treat boxes? Do you want me to make some Halloween treat boxes? I'm curious what you guys are looking for, if you'd like to see some Halloween projects. So this little piece here is what we're using. On the back are these cute little animals, but this is the piece we're using. It's got some black and some pumpkin pie. So that's what we're going to use out of this pack here. All right. So for the box, so you can actually get, how many did I get? 2, maybe 3 of these out of a piece of cardstock. So your measurements are 4.5 by 5 is what we're going to start with. So no, I think you can only get 2 out of this because we did it 5 this way. And then 4.5. Yeah. And then you'll be left with a piece that's too small. So yeah, you can get 2 of these out of a piece of cardstock. And then, so at the 4.5-inch side, so with the 4.5-inch side at the top, we're going to score it at 1 1/4 and 1 3/4. It was funny because when I was doing all of my crafting last week for my craft show, I have kitchen counters that are really high and my kitchen is very open. So I like to craft there when I'm doing stuff. And I can see the TV in my living room. So I was just watching like Harry Potter in the background. I had like a Harry Potter marathon going the whole time. It was pretty cool. Okay, so with the 5-inch side at the top, now we're going to score each side at 1/2 inch. Rotate there and do 1/2 inch. Karen says, I love different treat boxes for every holiday. Joan says, love treat box ideas. I bought the kit this year. You bought the Halloween kit, Joan? Which kit? All right, now with the bigger pieces at the top, so what we want to do is on these larger panels here, we're going to measure 1.5 inches and make a little pencil mark. So what I like to do is put it, you'll see there's like a little line below our little measurement here. So we're going to put it at 1.5. Oh wait, that's not right. Yeah, 1.5. And then we'll use the track to make a little pencil mark there. And then we can do it on the bottom section here too. You just make that pencil mark just like that. And then what you're going to do is where this score line is and that pencil mark, you want to line those up in the track. Let me see if I can get this a little closer so you can see. So it helps sometimes too if you fold it so you can see it a little bit better. So where that score line is down here and that pencil mark up here, we want both of those in the track, and we're going to cut and make a little angle. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we'll fold this to make it a little bit easier to see. And then pencil mark and score line, both in the track, and cut. Okay, and it doesn't have to be perfect. If it's not right on the pencil mark, it's okay. You just want a general idea of about where it is. Want it close. All right, so now we're going to grab our bone folder. This one's so easy. I knocked a bunch of these out within a couple hours. I just boom, boom, boom. I want to say I made like 23, 24 of them, something like that. All right, so then on these 2 little score lines on the side, we're just going to cut and make a little tab. And you don't have to miter the edges. You can just go straight up. It's not going to make a difference. Okay, just like that. And then to put the box together, we're going to fold these tabs in and put liquid glue on this side and then liquid glue on this side, okay? And I just do it all at once. Oops. Not a ton. Try not to put a big glob of it like I did. and try to smooth it out a little bit. There we go. All right, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna fold this up so those tabs are on the inside, and then these little flaps you want to be on the outside. So we're gonna fold it like that. So that little tab's on the outside, and then you can see the little tab down there is on the inside. And you can take like your bone folder and just kind of press that on the inside there. That way you're keeping that edge, because you want those edges to be nice and lined up, and that liquid glue gives you a minute to kind of line everything up. Just gonna press that down and do the same thing on this side. Press it down. You can use your fingers if you want. Just got to give everything a second to kind of sit, but that's the basic box. So I made one of these a couple years ago, and they actually, so Ghirardelli makes little snowmen that are the same size, and you can fit 3. That's where I originally came up with this idea. And then I thought, you know what, for this fall show, I'm going to come up with one with a little Ghirardelli Jack O Lanterns. So I just cased myself. I used the same measurements, and then I made this little box. So, all right. And then the paper is going to be 3 7/8 by 1 1/8. So do 1 1/8 by 3 7/8. And all these measurements will be in the blog post. And once we're done with this video, I'll try to update the description with it as well. Like I said, I was a little all over the place this morning, so that's why it's not in there just yet. All right, and then since all I have is liquid glue right now, that's what we'll use. Liquid glue, I will admit, is not my favorite. I don't like it because it's very messy. It gets all over the place. I always end up having it all over my fingers, but I do like it because it does give you a chance to kind of wiggle everything in place if you need that time. So that is an advantage to liquid glue, but in general, it's not my favorite. I would much rather use a tape runner like Stampin' Seal Plus if I have the option. And then this will go in here. Now we are going to decorate it a little bit. You could just leave it like this if you wanted to, but I don't want to do that. So I am going to die cut a little label here. So we're just going to do this real fast. Quick, quick, quick. And I did these ahead of time and just had a bunch of them ready to go and then stamped on them because we're going to position our stamp to center it in the label. So, whoops. So to me, it was a little easier to just have the labels all ready to go and all cut out. So that's what we're going to do here. Just run this through real quick. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. And like I said, if you missed it, I am using this label from the Traditional Labels set. That's where I got my label from. All right. So now we are going to stamp with my favorite set, the More Than Autumn set here. And I did, Nothing's Better Than, and Except Maybe You. And then we did Pumpkin Season, and I thought that was really cute for fall. And there's pumpkins and the little treat, so so I thought that was cute. So what I did to line everything up was I kind of centered this on the label, and that's how I got my spacing. And if you lay it out ahead of time, when you have more than one word like that, then you can just take your block and stick the stamps right on there, and then you have them positioned how you want. And I'm just going to use pumpkin pie for this one. And I'm going to center them along those points in the middle here. Okay, so there's pumpkin season. And then we've got, and then once you have them on the block, if you're making a bunch of them, you just boom, 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 it's all ready to go. We've got nothing's better than, we're gonna kind of center this above the top here. And then except maybe you, centered right here. Once you have that about where you want it, you take your block, stick them on there. And then I just picked, I use my packaging colors a lot of times, like for whatever candy I have. Sometimes I will pick the coloring from that. So I thought this looks like Granny Apple Green. So that's how I picked Granny Apple Green to go with this. So we are going to ink it up in Granny Apple Green. And then put that right above there. So cute. And you could do more to it. I kept these pretty simple. That's all I did for that label. And then we're just going to take some dimensionals and stick them. Actually, so for this, you want to keep your center dimensionals kind of in the middle, because if you put them all the way to the edge, they're going to go outside of that little panel right here. But these from left to right, we just center them along those points. And then we'll take our dimensional backings off. And it will go off at the bottom. That's how I did it. I just kind of centered it on this panel just like that. Okay. And that is your little treat holder. Isn't he so cute? Oh, I love it. Now, for my craft shows, I have like a little sticker that I put on the back that has my name and images, copyright Stampin' Up. And then if you need plastic treat packaging, I'll include that in the blog post as well, the bags that I use for this. But they're like the perfect size and they fit right around there. So, and I just get them from clear bags. But that's it. What do you guys think about this treat box? Isn't this super cute? This would be such a nice little teacher gift or something for your neighbors, whatever. So, all right, guys. Well, let me turn the camera around. Thank you again so much for joining me. I hope you had a great time watching this little treat box demonstration. Don't forget, if you're on my email list, you'll get the email. I usually send it out at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and it'll have a little cutting guide for the box, as well as a supply list and the measurements and everything. So don't forget to give me a little thumbs up and share my video and leave a comment. If you're watching the replay or live, let me know what you think. I love hearing from you guys. And let me know if you want some Halloween treat packaging ideas, and I'll try to come up with some of those, okay? I can't believe it's almost October, guys. It's crazy. And don't forget to be on the lookout for my craft show recap at the end of the week as well. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. And until next time, be safe and happy stamping. Bye-bye.